And welcome back to the hottest marriage show in the neighborhood. It's I, John D. and Kanika, a.k.a. And Too Much Podcast. How you doing this morning?
I'm fine. You?
I'm doing well. Been a productive morning. Well, not so productive. I couldn't donate this morning. Yeah. And then, not only that, I couldn't even get water because I left my wallet at home. So I was like, when I was driving, I wanted to get a car wash though. In my head,
He said something gonna happen today.
In my head, I was like, did I really waste my time? So I was just figuring. The whole time I was going, like all I was thinking about was like, how can I be more productive or whatnot? So I figured like this is like I didn't waste any time, but I could have done this at home. So I was trying to figure out what am I missing? And I realized there's a book about fathers that I bought from a conference that I hadn't started reading yet. And I'm like, am I really trying to be a better father? If I haven't opened this book. So today I'm going to start this book. And I said, I'm just going to be committed to reading a chapter a day until this book is finished. But I want to be a better father, and I can't just be talking about it if I'm not actually, finding ways to improve. So yeah, that's how my morning went.
Yeah, I'd be so hot about that.
About what?
Going there, couldn't do that. Then you're like, oh, I'm going to go. I was being productive. I put these water jugs in here. You can't do that.
Oh, man.
But I got something for you to do, player. We're going to paint this room.
Oh, yeah, I definitely came home and, I didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
I thought you knew I was home.
No, you were home too early. I was like, so for you all, our nephew is coming back, and he's going to stay with us, and I'm really excited, but I want to make sure his room is ready. And so I was going to paint this morning, and I didn't get the paint yesterday as I planned, but I was like, okay, I'm going to tape the room up, spackle, all this other stuff. And I'm too short to tape everything. So I was like, okay, John's going to be here and I'm having tape. I didn't know you were upstairs. I would have had your behind working earlier.
So that's what I don't understand. Why didn't you have your son working?
Oh, because we're going to do his room too. He has stuff that he's going to need to do.
What does that got to do with him helping you?
He's not much taller than me.
He's way taller than you.
Not as much as you are.
What does that got to do with him helping you?
Well, you're my partner.
Didn't we just talk about?
But you're my partner.
Didn't we just talk about learning lessons?
But you're my partner.
My point is, your son can help also.
He can. So.
But yeah, I did. I completed it.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that today, and I'm excited about it. And what else? No, that was it. But you're going to be productive today.
I'm always productive.
Yeah, but you're going to be productive with me today.
Okay.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. So what's on your brain this morning?
Okay. So I was thinking about senseless rules, right? When we were... What do I want to say? Maybe when we got here. When we moved back, I remember the kids wanted different cereals. And I got the cereals and I let them open all of them at the same time because they were all going to eat whatever. And you were like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. So I was wondering, when I'm sitting here and I'm thinking back to my childhood, some of the things that I had to deal with, there were a lot of senseless rules. And part of it, if I could say historically how I feel, there are a lot of things about how parents, and I'm only speaking about Black parents because it's my personal experience, but Black parents have a lot of rules to keep their kids in line and in order. And I know a lot of the times it was rooted around, if you don't make a lot, we're not going to get in any trouble that you could end up getting hurt for. So I'm going to keep you in line. Mm-hmm. And but I thought about some of the things that my parents, not so much, well, I guess sometimes, but I had this one cousin and their mom was like off the chain with rules. And in my head, I'm thinking, what are some of the senseless rules we grew up with that it was probably to keep us in line? Historically, we were taught to be very rigid with our kids, but it's not really necessary and it's not really helping them.
So what is an example that's not necessary?
So an example, I remember my cousin, she would not let kids say, shut up. And I know you don't like shut up. But if you said shut up more than one time, she would make you wear tape on your mouth, right? In my house, we could say shut up. But when I stayed over there, I would even say it like, get out of here, that type of shut up too. And I remember I said it like twice, and she made me wear tape on my mouth. Not only that, she said, you know what, matter of fact, we need to go to the store. I don't think we really needed to go to the store, but we went to Meijer, and she had me walk around Meijer with this tape on my mouth. And I feel like the need to correct children and even sometimes humiliate children is not new, but now it's like all on social media. People love it, like, oh, I'm gonna discipline you and y'all gonna see. But I just didn't understand why that was necessary. And another thing, she would like clean the house, or not clean the house, like after dinner, she would say that the kitchen is closed. So you couldn't go in there for anything except a glass of water. Didn't matter when you had dinner. It like, you know, on Sundays we would have dinner early. So if I stayed the night, because you know you always want to spend the night, even though it was the strictest cousin, you still wanted to spend the night over there. The kitchen was closed. And so there were some times when there were things, and I was like, I don't understand why that rule, why are we doing that? That doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm wondering, are there any senseless or what seem, well, you as a parent can look back and say whether or not you see it as a senseless rule you had to deal with?
Well, I understand why those rules were in place, though. Mm-hmm. So I don't think
the kitchen being closed?
All of that.
Really? Why?
The first thing you said,
the tape on the mouth. Mm-hmm.
So this is what I got out of it. We as people don't like to be embarrassed. And if you're embarrassed enough, we're hoping that you don't want to have that feeling again. Yeah. So it's supposed to correct that behavior. Mm-hmm. It's almost like the fear tactic. Mm-hmm. It's not the fear, it's embarrassing now. Like we know we don't like the way we feel when we're embarrassed. So I'm going to embarrass you so you don't like it that much, so you don't do it again.
I understand the purpose. I understand what her intention was. Uh-huh. But I'm saying,
when you said senseless, I understand like what the intent of it. She just found it had to work because you didn't do it again.
I didn't, but
it didn't work because of the embarrassing part. You just didn't do it again, right?
I didn't do it again because I realized like it.
That she was serious?
No, because I knew her kids didn't say it. It's just, it would come, because in my house, it was fine. It was like stuff I would say shut up, not to say shut up. Like, don't say, it'd be like, shut up. Even if it was like something that I didn't believe, whatever was happening.
I know, but you just because you changed the language of it doesn't mean.
But the intention behind it wasn't for me to tell you to be quiet. It was, well, I know that I would have used it to say be quiet, but I know I would use it for other reasons. So the reason, what I say is senseless about it is, I guess people feel like there's a need to embarrass a child. I don't feel like there's a need to embarrass a child.
No, I get it now. I'm just saying that's the reason why.
Yeah. So to me, I'm saying senseless rules for, according to me as a parent.
Do you still think it's senseless though? That's what I'm saying. When you say it, it's like I don't,
because I know what you want, but your practice of doing that, I don't think that makes any sense.
I'm pretty sure she wouldn't do it today because it doesn't make sense. Like at that time, she hadn't done it before. So it was the first time she was a parent, and it worked in her house. And she said, "This is what's going to happen." So she wasn't looking for ways to be a better parent. She was like, "This is probably worked in my house when I was little. I'm gonna put tape on your mouth." So in my head, parents only know what they know. You know, so
yeah, I understand, but I'm saying it's not gonna go with me. That stops here.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I didn't say. Check this out. If it was a practice that she did and you believed in it and it worked, you would take it.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
So then this is what I'm saying as a kid growing up, and then me looking at myself as a parent. That is a practice that I would be like, what the hell? Like, what in the world?
I mean, I know it's still being practiced today, so you're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, soap in the mouth and everything.
Yeah.
But so then I'm going to say to you, because it's all about your own perspective.
Yeah.
So what
everything
might you have grown up with that you was like, what was even the point? I wouldn't do that with my kids.
Well, I mean, I think the whole parenting thing that they were doing.
Oh, you said just take the whole bag?
Yeah. We can reevaluate some practices.
No.
And all I can say is I probably was parented better than they were.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I can say. But overall, I mean, to me, once you understand what they were trying to do, it's a lot easier to forgive them for their ignorance, because like when I look at the way that we parent our kids and how other people parent their kids, you know, there's no perfect way, but there is a better way always.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I was being raised, I look back like the cereal, like you were saying, like why they open up. My father didn't feel like we had enough self-control. So it's like if you open up all of them, they'll all end up gone. You know, so it's more so like to keep it regulated, like because we don't have. Okay, I'll give you an example.
See, in my house, I would have thought is you don't open them all because then they go stale.
Well, that possibly too, but I'm saying like, just imagine this: our nephew that's coming.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And that's what my father was trying to prevent. But you saw it firsthand. If you don't regulate, things will disappear immediately.
Well, and then that's the thing. But what he learned was once mine is gone, mine is gone.
But no, we had to learn that. We had to say that because that's what I'm saying. Like, but if you don't have but one box of cereal or two boxes, you're not going to let one person.
Yeah.
Because now you're mad as a parent. Like, you just messed up. This supposed to last us the week.
True.
You know, and you already tight on money, and now this kid. So that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, like, the entire practice was senseless. Mm-hmm. But looking back, that's all they knew. So I forgave them, man. Because I'm telling you, my father, to me, I'll say this. This is probably one of the best things that he's ever said, but you don't understand it because he used to always say, like, I'm like, why do they get this? Why do they get that? He's like, you don't know what they did to get that. And you don't understand that. Like, I'm like, well, they ain't sell no drugs. You know, like, he's like, you don't know if their light bill went out or anything. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I'm like, they probably just make more money than you. Why don't you make, like, so it's like so many things as a kid, but you don't think, like, how did they do that so that kid could get that? So I know that he really only did what he could do.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to finish all the food on your plate?
Easy. Like so.
Do you feel like that was necessary?
No, but I understand why. Because if you don't have enough information about what this could possibly do to your child, they're thinking like, I got to feed you. Yeah. And look, we're poor. You're not going to waste any food. Looking back, I'm like, I wasn't going to die. We know now the kids are not going to die.
They ain't going to die.
Yeah. But it's like, you're not going to waste this food.
So let me ask you this. The plate, did you guys get a full plate of food or was it small portions?
Oh, no.
It was a full plate of food.
Yeah. And, you know, the food, so just like Day, she don't like beef and, you know, our beef don't even have fat in it. Yes. Like when I grew up, man, and I'm like, I'm chewing for days. And I'm like, he was like, you're not getting up before you. So, you know, I used to have to like ask to use the restroom. And then when nobody was looking, I put a whole bunch of food in my mouth and I go use the restroom just to go spit it out. Because I'm like, this ain't fair. I feel like that was a punishment.
Well, you know, just aside for that though, you know, dinner plates, you're really only supposed to put your food on the small
saucer,
plate.
Saucer, yeah.
That's how much you really should be eating. And I think that like now we actually, like, I hate a leftover. I don't hate a leftover to not eat it because I'll eat leftovers, but I hate cooking a whole bunch of food and then knowing that it's going to be a million pieces of Tupperware in the fridge that are not going to get, you know, completed or eaten. And it got to the point where I started really paying attention to the amount that
Portions.
I would make. So it'll be like a small pot of rice, or everybody got, the chicken breast that you get, it might be cut a little bit thinner or whatever. Because number one, we were filling up these big old plates, and then we were forcing these kids to eat, knowing that, or maybe not knowing, their stomach is only the size of their fist.
That is the craziest thing too. We all know this, but that plate.
But the saucer, eating from the saucer makes a difference. So even though I understand like what you're saying, I economically, like that's I invested in all of this food. Y'all better eat every last bit of it. But you're wasting money on food. Yeah. And you didn't even know it. You could have been feeding those kids less on a smaller plate and they would have been perfectly fine. But I think I felt like that was a senseless rule, because when you're full, you're full, and you're full.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that there's some tweaks that we did to how we serve dinner to kind of help with that. I don't find, like, at this point though, if somebody doesn't like food, I do tell Day in Dallas it's okay to not eat it. Because if you don't like it, you don't like. I hated peas, and my mom would make me eat it. My thing is, I don't like it.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't believe in that. I believe if it's good for you, it ain't about you not liking it. It's about you getting your portion of your whatever, your vitamins. And to me, I feel like when you make it, like, see, that's, to me, that's the difference between the privilege part and like
that P word.
It is, because at the end of the day, if you pour, you can't say like it's good for you. It's nourishing your body, but since you have enough money to not do it, you shouldn't eat what you. It's good.
No,
it doesn't matter.
They don't do it often, but I know there are certain things that
then you don't fix it. But my point
over that
is,
food like
I get
the
it.
entire meal.
I'm
and
just
it ain't
saying,
going nowhere.
But we know, like, this is what I've noticed about you. Like, if you make a vegetable and you like it, it's good enough for them to eat. You want them to eat it. They need to eat it. But if it's something that you don't like, you like, okay, no, the whole house is banned from it.
I don't do that. I'm just saying I wouldn't
That's what I'm saying.
It for myself to cook.
No, I'm saying, but as an example, that's a bad example, because you're controlling everybody else. You're doing the parenting thing.
I don't stop any vegetables.
They need to eat them vegetables. Like, that's why Dallas put it all on one fork to get it over with.
Yeah, but he still eat it.
Because of you.
What do you mean?
Like, because you told him he better eat all his So that's no difference than you just said about peas. Like,
oh, I hate a pea.
No, it doesn't.
But I would eat the other stuff. I would eat the carrots. I would eat the cauliflower and the broccoli.
I think you've made yourself the exception on trying to control the rules, and you don't even know you're doing it. But that's what I'm saying.
But me hating peas, it made me more sensitive to when the kids really don't like food.
See, that's what I'm saying. You can't dictate how much somebody really don't like the food according to how you don't like the food. I know.
But I do.
I know, and
so then maybe that's a senseless rule that they'll get rid of in there.
No, maybe you shouldn't have it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like. Why are they supposed to practice anything different?
I don't know if I feel like people are supposed to be forced to eat something that really doesn't do anything for their palate.
If it's good, your palate has nothing to do with what's good. That's what I'm saying.
I don't like it.
That's why you couldn't have been poor. Because if you were poor, you would have died.
I like a lot of food. I told you I don't like
peas.
No,
but I'm saying
I'm
I
saying would have died.
Like you act like you ate peas every day or something.
I didn't. That's what I'm saying. Just in those few little moments in which peas were there, I didn't like that. But I ate everything else. I ate peas in certain things, like fried rice, the topopo salad, the tuna casserole even. I would eat it. But if you just put it on the plate, and then they lie and call it sweet peas. Like, come on, y'all. It's annoying, but that's just me.
Yeah, so I know, but I'm just saying,
you
like,
and I will just
as a parent,
on that
you should. But you do that. Like I said this before, and I want to repeat it. She has a thing where if she cooks food and she don't like it, and everybody else like it, it won't be cooked again.
Well, they can cook it.
No,
like y'all can make the decision to make it.
But then if she likes something and nobody likes, ooh, this should be on the menu.
But if nobody chooses to make it again, they just don't choose to make it again. You know how many people don't like meals don't make the cut? Jeez. Okay, what about this one? Sons and daughters having the same curfew.
Yeah.
You believe they should?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, I know that you're supposed to like be worried about your daughter, but I'm worried about my son. Like, so I feel like maturity should determine how late you stay out, and I feel like if you're a responsible parent, you don't want them out where anything dangerous could happen. You know, so like if they're going out, they need to be somewhere. It don't need to be just
Right.
ways to find trouble. But yeah, like I think it would be discretionary. I think with us, I think we're at the point where it could, like, because I don't think that they would take advantage of it.
Yeah. I remember when we were in high school, my friend's dad was like, y'all want to be out. We had friends who could be out at any time of night. And
I did too.
And he was like, I remember us asking him about going out somewhere. He said the only thing open at that time is 7-Eleven and Legs. Y'all need to be at home. And we would be like, dang. Now, our curfew was like, I think midnight, 11 or midnight in senior year. Senior year.
What was it before your senior year?
Maybe like, I don't think I needed a curfew until my junior year when we started driving. And that might have been 11. But let me tell you how this really got me. So in 11th grade, that means that my younger brother was in the 6th grade. Does that make sense? Okay. No, that doesn't make any sense. He might have been in the 7th grade, something around there. And I remember he went to a house party. He went to a party. And my mom, I went with her to go pick him up. And he got picked up in my curfew time. But he was 5 years younger than me. Now, it might have been because it was a house. And it wasn't like we were just out somewhere. But I was just like, in my head, I was like, there's no reason why he shouldn't be in the house by 9 o'clock. Unless he's at the roller skating rink. I guess we used to come home in middle school from the roller skating rink around 11 o'clock. But our mom used to pick us up there too. I just was like, I don't understand how he's out at the same time that I would be out. And he's in at the same time I would be expected to be in. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But I think if I were to make a guess, it was at a house. Your mother knew she was comfortable enough to do it. Like, it wasn't like she was worried.
I know.
So to me, I feel like you feel like because he was a boy, she allowed him to do that?
Yeah.
Or how do you know that you didn't have that opportunity when you were
right?
7?
And then that's the other thing. Did I just not ask? Because I assumed that wasn't an option for me. And then I saw when I was ready to ask, I was in high school. When he was ready to ask, he was in middle school. And he was like, hey, I have to do this. But
you guys grew up with different groups of friends, though. Like, the household dynamic was completely different also.
Yeah. Yeah, by then, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's just.
Yeah, middle school, I was in the home with my mom and my dad. By high school, it's my mom and my stepdad. So yeah, it was a different. Yeah, that's true too. But regardless of that, I would say that everybody gets the same. Yeah, for sure. Curfew. I'm with that.
I mean, I feel like what is a curfew for?
I feel like the later someone's out, you got more people who are drinking. More people who are out driving. Okay. More activities that are probably
more dangerous for
it's
things
not
to
like
possibly happen.
Yeah, it's not like you're at a movie theater or you guys are at a restaurant. Like after a while, everything is pretty closed down. And what are you doing? Yeah. Probably some risky behavior.
Absolutely. So, what other? It wouldn't be anything other than
legs open. Yeah. And my thing in that, to me, that's risky behavior. Being closed up in somebody's house and maybe experimenting with things you don't. When there's a lot more action at restaurants and malls and movie theaters and stuff, I understand you being out and about with your friends. Yeah. Once y'all get closed up in the house and it's dark and everything's supposed to be quiet in the house and everybody's like winding down, why aren't you at home winding down?
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's my thought process on that.
But I think that they have it too. Like if somebody said, "Hey Dallas" or "Hey Day, see if you can stay out." What are you doing? Like if whatever you're doing makes sense, yes,
Yeah.
you can. But if it doesn't make sense,
It's
no.
a case by case basis. But yeah, I would agree with that. This is about consent because that's always big. So you remember growing up, and I don't know, maybe you don't, but growing up, if an adult told you to give them a hug, you had to give them a hug. Do you feel that that's something that kids should have to do?
Yeah, I think I guess it just depends on the family, because I do believe that the hug is supposed to be coming from a sincere place, and I don't want a hug to look skeptical. Like I want a hug to be warm. So unless I know some information, I believe you should give a hug. And I think it's our job to protect the kid if the wrong person is hugging our kid. But I don't want to look like hugs to me is supposed to be from a friendly place.
But do you always know who's not the person? Right.
As a parent, we need, like, as a parent.
But as a parent, sometimes you're sitting here and you have absolutely no idea what that person is doing.
But we could create a complete introvert kid to say he don't just hug nobody. And I don't want to deal with that. That's a different animal. Like, I don't want to create behaviors that could make a person different completely. Unless that's who you really want to be. And I don't like, you're afraid that you just shut down after the first encounter.
No, I'm saying, like, if they hug people, but you know, there can be some pushier family members or whatever and be like, come and give me a hug. Give me a hug. But what if it's like, and there are a lot of adults that assume that it's weird. Kids are supposed to remember them from when they were 3. You're a stranger. Even if you don't like the thought of it, and this is your little whoever, and you remember them when they were a baby, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're comfortable with the idea of embracing you the way they would embrace their grandmother or a cousin that they've seen multiple times, or their aunt. So for those pushy family members, you just say push through it and do it anyway?
Like, what is it really doing? Like, I don't understand. I don't
know.
Like,
I think that
they hold on too long. Like, are they gripping you up? Like, what is going on for you to, like, not want to give a hug? Now, if there's something that's preventing you, of course, don't give a hug. But yes, you should give hugs.
Okay, so if something is stopping the kid where you notice that in this case they're not, are you going to say, go ahead, go do it? Or are you going to, because you just said, well, if there's something that's preventing you, then okay. But in general, give a hug. So if you see that your kid for some reason is resisting that particular request, are you going to be like, go ahead?
I would do it, but I would be on high alert. What is going on? Because I want to see or try, and we're going to have a conversation afterward also, because this is the thing. It may not even be that person. Maybe something's just wrong with, like, I'm not feeling, something just happened and made me mad. And I snapped you out of it. Go give him a hug. So I don't, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I want the accountability of thinking that a hug is okay. Because if it's ever not okay, you're a different person. Depending on who's hugging you, or you're not even going to give a hug. Like, I don't believe you should hug somebody you don't want to. But as kids, I don't want them to be afraid of a hug.
I'm not saying they're afraid of a hug. I'm saying you recognize that your kid doesn't have a problem hugging people. But in this instance,
that's what I'm saying. But that's one of those things. Well, what if something just happened and I wasn't paying attention, and they're upset, and then somebody's like, come give me a hug, and they're not there, and they got to snap them out of it. Like, anything can happen. Because I was that kid. I didn't want to hug anybody. So, and I feel like it was necessary. I didn't want to hug anybody.
Okay.
No, for real. Like, I'm telling you, everybody got the noodle arms.
Oh yeah, you're horrible.
But you know, it wasn't because I didn't want to hug them. It was because I was already mad. And now I'm the kid that don't want to hug because I'm always mad. But I had reasons to be mad.
You got a reason.
Yeah. Hey, anybody you want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
No, not today. You?
I want to give a shout out to all of the students who go to school with the hopes of a teacher changing their life, and they're open-minded to it. I know that sometimes you can go through life and not find anybody that can change your life, but keep looking. They're out there. Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA, get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose. Boom.